All right, hello everyone, and welcome to our Google Plus, first ever Google Plus Heroes Hangout. My name is Chris Spatola, and the man to my right needs no introduction, Coach Mike Krzyzewski. And we are joined this morning by some soldiers from across the world. We've got soldiers in Fort Gordon, Georgia, Colorado Springs, and also in Germany. Let's first of all introduce ourselves. Sergeant Chambers, I know you're coming from Germany. It's about 4 o'clock there. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, Coach, and it's an honor to have this opportunity. My name is Derek Chambers. I work here at the George C. Marshall Center for Security Studies here in Garmisch, Germany. I'm the senior personnel sergeant for the military personnel here. Native of Burlington, North Carolina, and it's an honor to be serving in our great Army, and obviously to have an opportunity to speak to such a great man as Coach K. So I'm glad to be here.
All right, thanks, Derek. And how about our guys from Fort Gordon, 35th Signal Brigade?
How you guys doing? Good morning. My name is Sergeant First Class Daniel Jolly. We're out of 35th Signal Brigade in Fort Gordon. Me personally, I'm working as a resiliency trainer and also do suicide intervention training as well. I've got Specialist Cabrera. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
How you doing, sir? I'm Specialist Cabrera. I'm as well at 35th Signal Brigade. I run a electronics repair shop for the battalion. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. And here we have a third. We have Specialist McCarr.
How you doing? I'm Specialist McCarr. Also with 35th Signal Brigade. I work in automation, Tampa, Florida, and it's a pleasure, to speak to you, Coach K.
Thank you. McCarr, they should let you in the picture. It's okay.
No, I know. Small screen.
And then we have two soldiers from the World Class Athlete Program out in Colorado Springs, Sergeant Fields and Specialist Nelson. Why don't you tell us who you guys are?
Well, I'm Sergeant Fields with the World Class Athlete Program. Been in the Army 10 years. Love to serve. Love this country here, and excited to meet you, Coach K. I've been a huge fan for a long time. Growing up on the south side of Chicago, Duke was definitely one of the schools that I really love, watching Grant Hill and all those guys. And it's just an honor to meet you. It's an honor to still be able to continue serving. And I'm looking forward to the hangout.
Everybody, I'm Specialist Stephen Nelson. I'm part of the Army World Class Athlete Program. It's a great opportunity to be able to serve the U.S. Army and meet Coach K. I was a 2012 Olympic alternate, so I met Coach K over there. And I'm a U.S. Army boxer. So it's nice to meet everybody.
Well, we've got two as it says, world-class athletes out there in Colorado Springs. As I said, my name is Chris Spatola. I was a member of Coach K's staff for 6 years and now doing television for CBS. But more appropriate for this hangout, I'm a West Point graduate, 2002. Served in the military, deployed to Iraq in 2005, 2006, and got out of the service as a captain. But I think what everybody's here for is to hear from Coach K. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, well, it's really an honor to be with you guys. I'm also a West Point graduate. A few years before that, 1969. I'm an older guy, but I was a field artillery officer. Actually, I was in Colorado Springs at Fort Carson, my first assignment, battery executive officer, and it's an honor to be with you guys. I've coached some of the best teams in college in the history of college basketball, and I'm now coaching our U.S. national team. We've won the Olympics twice and the World Championships once, and I'll coach again. But we always get in a great relationship with the armed forces, and especially the Army, because we think you're the best team, in the whole world, and you're the most respected team in the whole world. And so we've joined together to try to get our players to get the feeling of self-service that you guys have in serving our country. We play basketball games, and you all do much more serious games, and we're behind you all the way. So it's an honor for me to be on, even with a guy from the south side of Chicago. I'm a west side guy. Where did you grow up in Chicago? What streets? Tell me.
I grew up in Wild Hundreds.
Oh, you're way on down there, man. you're not even in the city, man.
I am in the city. I grew up in Outgale Gardens.
You're holding on by your fingertips, man, out there. You're pretty far away.
Outside of Chicago.
I'm right there. I'm right there, Coach.
All right, we'll bring you in.
Okay.
One of the things we wanted to talk about this morning, I know sports and leadership are two of your favorite topics, and Coach and I, we're both athletes and both in the service, and I know you guys out there, it seems like anybody in the military, you also have to be an athlete. Just wanted to talk a little bit. I know you always say that being in sports made you a better officer and soldier,
right,
and vice versa. Being in the military helped you in sports. How did both impact you?
Well, I think, first of all, at West Point, you not only went to school and you studied, but every cadet was an athlete. And there was a reason for that, because they knew eventually you're going to be in the Army and serve, that a lot of the camaraderie that's developed is a result of what you would do in sport. You have each other's back, you trust one another, you have loyalty, you tell each other the truth. You have collective responsibility where you win and you lose together. And those things on an athletic field you can learn. And then if you take them to combat, that's when you're really tested. And so my feeling is that the Army is a team. It's a team. It's not just a basketball team, a boxing team, or it's a team. And you have to rely. You have to rely on those guys from Fort Gordon and the signal guys to make sure that you can talk to one another. And you got to rely on the guys, in the field artillery to give you backup support. And then those guys in the infantry are leading the way, and they have to communicate and react in a moment's notice. And that's what happens in games, and we see it happen in the military over and over and over again.
Yeah. You guys in Fort Gordon, one of the similarities between in sports and the military is training and being prepared. How much training do you guys do, rehearsal, before you deploy here stateside?
We do quite a bit, sir. Basically, we have training exercises before each major deployment. JRTC. I don't know if you guys are familiar with JRTC and NTC, the rotations, but we make sure that our soldiers are afforded the most realistic training before a deployment that they can possibly receive. So yeah, it's vital to building that confidence before a deployment.
It sounds too like, from what you were saying when you introduced yourself, that the Army's not just taking care of the physical needs; they're trying to take care of the emotional needs of the men and women who are serving. And you mentioned a really important word that I talk to people in the military about a lot, and that is resiliency.
Yes,
the ability to bounce back. And with the number of deployments, it's not just a bounce back from one mission to another, but from one deployment to another. What are the things that you guys have to do to make sure that you're combat ready over and over again?
It is really, you touched right on that, sir. Really, it's just it's that bounce back. It's everyone receiving the same amount of training when it comes to putting things into perspective. Identifying the thinking traps that you get into that bring you down. So yeah, a resilient adaptive soldier is going to be able to take on another deployment, and if it does become too hard, then we've got a team to go to your battle buddies to speak with and be able to have each other's backs in that respect.
Sergeant First Class, one of the things that I think any of the troops listening should understand is that when they do have a problem, there's somebody there to help them, right?
That's right, sir.
That we have the resources not to hold it in, and that includes we got to take care of the men and women who have served and who are no longer in the military too, to make sure that they have these buddies, because we owe that you know, we owe that to our military team. We owe that to all of you guys.
Right. And so,
Go ahead.
so yeah, like we say, when it does become too hard, you know, saying that's where my suicide intervention training has, you know, kicked in. Recently was able to get Specialist McCarr trained up in how to give a proper suicide intervention. If, you know, things go way too far and you're on those thinkings of suicide. But the resiliency training, that's the best suicide prevention training you could possibly get.
It's interesting hearing you guys talk, and certainly in sports, playing roles is so important. And Sergeant Chambers, out there in Germany, you still with us?
Yes, sir. Still
making sure you're not falling asleep. It's been probably a long day for you. Just talk about, you know, from your viewpoint, playing roles. Certainly, it's so important. Everybody has their job, and if one person's not doing their job, you know, it's not going to function properly. Just what from your perspective?
Well, I serve in you know, I serve in the human resources capacity. So, you know, I deal with I'm a behind the scenes kind of guy, and I'm a supervisor of, you know, I'll have a squad or a section of 5 to 8 soldiers, and it's very vital that everybody is mentally fit, physically fit as well. So, you know, a failure on our part would be a soldier not getting promoted, or, you know, someone their pay not being correct, or, you know, something that definitely affects the not only the soldier, but it affects the families. So it's important that you know, from the lowest private or to the captains, lieutenants, whomever may be working in my field, that we kind of have a sense of, hey, where everybody is mentally, making sure they know we're approachable, and you know, and as leaders, we have to be transparent as well, and offering our assistance, offering guidance, definitely making everyone feel as important as each member of the team. So that's kind of like, you know, from my perspective, I think that's what how I view, you know, each team member.
You know, you mentioned the families, and yeah, to me that's so important that we take care, that the Army helps take care of the families, because the sacrifices that are made by the men and women who stay back with the children to support the men and women who are on the front lines or on tours away from home is so important. It's neat to see that you guys are so on top of those things, because you know, that makes you combat ready also, to know that things are taken care of for your families.
Yes, sir.
When
Definitely.
you're talking about roles, Coach, with USA Basketball, you know, you're dealing with the best players in the world. Role definition with that, I mean, it's a lot to what Sergeant Chambers is talking about.
Well, you know, over the last 7 years, when we've had a chance to work with the national team, you're talking about Kobe and LeBron, Carmelo, Chris Paul, all these guys. The one thing that they've learned from our dealings with the military, Chris, is that yeah, they want to do anything that they can. They'll be willing to do any role that you want them to do so that we can win. You know, like in the 2008 Olympics, Dwayne Wade said, "Coach, I'll come off the bench. Don't worry about me." And he did. He exploded off the bench. He was our leading scorer overall. You know, this past Olympics, Carmelo Anthony did the same thing. Kobe Bryant, who is known for being such a scorer, said, "Coach, I'll guard the best perimeter guy of any team that will play." You know, and they take an oath, and they've learned that from our dealings with the military. You know, we've had a lot of interaction. I wish all the guys and the people in the military would understand how much we've done with the military. You know, right?
Every time,
because we want them as much. You know, when they're with you all, you guys say, "Boy, man, he's dunking and whatever, and he's doing all that kind of stuff." But these guys are saying, "Man, these guys are sharp. These guys are committed. These guys love what they do. These guys want to serve." They respect the heck out of the military. We did a really neat ceremony in Washington, D.C. General Dempsey, the chair of the Joint Chiefs, we had a scrimmage for 4,000 troops and some wounded warriors, and at the end of it, he had 12 of his servicemen and women line up. And you guys know that you have the American flag right here, and he had them take it off, salute our men, our players, and hand it to them and say, you take this to London and you represent us. And that was a very, very touching, that was a huge thing for our team.
Yeah. Awesome. Jared and Steven out there in Colorado Springs, you guys are, as we said, world-class athletes. Jared, you with the Paralympic team, and then Steven, you the all-Army boxer and hoping to compete in Rio. How has that program, which is one of the great things that the Army does, how has that helped you guys and made you better?
Well, it's helped me because, being an amputee in the Army, limited, in a lot of areas, especially in the field that I was in, which was Calf Scout, not being able to really do the things that I was, that I'm accustomed to, that I've done in the past. This program has helped me a lot through my rehab and everything, on treadmills, running, and just trying to get back in shape, trying to get, trying to stay Army and things like that. This program helped me with staying active duty and competing, as an athlete. So it was through my rehab and everything that I picked up a love for track, and I thank God for this program. I think without this program, I'd probably be out or, doing something else. So for me, it's very personal. I just love the Army. I love running. It's really helped me out a whole lot. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Steve? Yeah.
And for me, it has helped me focus on my skill, which is boxing. Because before I had to go to work and get off and try to fit that workout in between that schedule. So now I have time to focus on boxing and represent the U.S. Army in America as well in the Olympic Games.
Let me ask you guys, it comes out for all of you, and that there's such a great desire to serve, and your love of the country. Now, you were talking about when you were injured, and the mental state that you must have been in when you got injured. Tell us about why you still had the willingness to serve after being injured.
Well, Coach, my thing was when I joined the Army, it literally saved my life from where I was on the South Side.
Should have been up on the West Side, man.
it really saved my life. So I just didn't want a person from a foreign country to set a bomb up and then take everything that I've worked hard for, just take me out of the game. So, when I joined the Army, I love my drill sergeants. I was like, this is something that I want to do. I'm a 20-year, I'm a lifer and everything like that. So after I was hit, I didn't want a foreigner to change my direction. So I worked hard. I did everything I was supposed to do, PT test. I tried to max out on that. I did all my weapons training. I did everything to remain a soldier. And fortunately, President Bush signed a bill to keep us on active duty and to keep us around. So, that was a huge bill he signed for that. And I'm still, it's been 8 years. And I'm still kicking, literally. So
you look good, man. You got a good smile on your face.
Thank you, sir.
What about with the training for boxing to be able to compete on an Olympic level? Like that's like year-round training, right? Like do we provide you with enough facilities and enough coaching, and that where you have a chance to compete?
Yes, in every aspect, the coaches, we have different facilities, we have different trainers, we have nutritionists and everything. We have the whole nine. So it's an honor to serve the Army because they take so much care of their soldiers in every way, whether you're an athlete, a soldier, like you said, everything's like a foundation, and each pillar matters. Otherwise, the house will come tumbling down.
You were Coach and I are both field artillery guys. We were both field artillery. You were stationed at Carson, right?
Yeah, I was stationed. My first daughter was born at Fort Carson.
Okay.
And I was a battery executive officer there. And then I was just out there Friday and Saturday for USA basketball meetings. I'm coaching our U.S. team for the next 4 years. I re-upped. And, and then we had the under-19 trials. I wish I would have known you guys were there.
I wish I would have known.
I wish I would have known too.
Yeah, let's get the word out. Where's those signal guys? The signal guys on them, and I'm going to blame it on human resources. Those guys in Germany should have known that we were together in Colorado Springs.
Derek, hey, Coach, I can get down to some basketball, Coach.
What's that?
I said I can get down on the court too. Don't let the leg fool you.
No, man. I'm the weight don't fool me, man.
Yeah, we know you're. Those tuning in, if you haven't seen Jared on the cover of ESPN the magazine, he's got the Kobe jersey on. He's a cover boy. Well, I think he's getting soft, but we won't say that. Derek, I know you had a question for Coach K.
Yes, I did. And sir, actually, you answered one of. I had a few questions, but you answered one of them in reference to your dealings with the players coming off the bench for the USA men's team, and I thought you definitely imparted something in Carmelo Anthony, because he ended up having his greatest season, as a professional this year, and I thought immediately of you. But my one burning question, I've thought about, I even solicited some of my Duke friends, and they've submitted questions, and my one burning question would be, of all of the great players, coaches that have served under you, staff members, you've imparted, I could just imagine, thousands of things that have helped them in their careers. What's one individual that immediately comes to mind that maybe imparted something in your life during your years as a coach, be it at Duke, or if it was men's basketball? What's something that maybe you got from a player or, a staff member that kind of helped you in your philosophy that you have at Duke University?
Well, it's tough to single out one player because I've gotten it from so many players. But I'll tell you one general trait that a great player has, whether it be Johnny Dawkins, Tommy Amaker, Christian Laettner, Bobby Hurley, Grant Hill, J.J. Redick, Shane Battier, all these guys, and obviously the guys on the national team, is when you're coaching a team, if you're only giving to a team, then it's not going to work out. When the team gives back to you, in other words, a Bobby Hurley, when I coached him, he made me more daring because he was daring. When I coached Grant Hill, he made me more innovative, more creative because he was creative. When I coached Laettner in end of game situations, I was more confident because I knew he wanted to be there and he was going to perform. Same thing with the Olympic teams. When we're a 2-point game against Spain in the 2008 Olympic gold medal game and there's a timeout, what do you call? Instead of me calling a play, I just said, we're going to be all right. And I'm looking, there's Kobe Bryant, LeBron, Dwayne, and these guys. And Kobe says, we're all right, let's go. And Dwayne says, we're all right. So, all right, we're going to be all right. And they went out on the court and they performed. In other words, what happens is a leader shouldn't only give confidence to his troops. The troops can give confidence to the team also. And I love that when that happens. And it's the best. And you have each other's back. We're all together. It's not one guy or one girl leading a bunch of people. We're all going at it together. And I've been around some great competitors in that regard.
Well, on that note, we want to thank you guys for joining us. It was obviously our honor and our pleasure to be here, and we know you guys have better things to do with the rest of your lives.
The Southside Chicago guy has nothing better to do because Now listen, all kidding aside, we love you guys. We admire what you do. and it's an honor for us to be on with you. People who serve our country, protect our freedom, and I hope you never have to play games, but when you do have to play them, the fact that you play them away, the people in this country really benefit greatly from that. So thank you for your service. All right.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All
right, guys. And those who tuned in, thank you. This was great. We got to do it again. We got to hang out again, as they say on Google+. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good day.